Alright boys, we're back with another video. We got a little bit of arms today. Yesterday we hit some legs. That was a good leg day. Very happy with how that went. Had to cut it short just because I had something I had to tend to. I had an emergency I had to tend to. So I had to cut that a little bit short, sadly. But now we got some arms. This is the second lift on the day. We had some back earlier today. Now we're coming back, hitting some arms, right? It's just gonna be quick bicep, triceps, and 20 minutes of cardio. So that'll be the day. That's what we got on the agenda for today. But you guys already know the deal. Let's go ahead and take a little dry scoop to the dome ski. Washing her down with a Gatorade today. Gatorade Zero. Let me make that clear, right? We're not drinking regular Gatorade with a shit ton of sugar in it. We're drinking Gatorade Zero. So, forgot my jug at home. It was already too far, so yeah, that's what we're working with today. But I'll see you guys inside. All right, boys, we got a little bit of arms today. Very excited for that. It's gonna be a quick arm day. Nothing too crazy. You know, a little bit of tricep push downs. We're gonna do rope extensions first. After that, if they don't have the triangle bar I like, I'm gonna use the curled bar, right? It's kind of like a W. We'll call it the W curled bar. And then I'll use that for push downs. I want to use this, but I feel like it puts a little bit too much pressure on my wrist, right? Which isn't optimal. So yeah, I think that's gonna be what we do. I want a close grip today, but I have chest tomorrow, and I know that'll interfere with my chest day. So I'm not gonna close grip today, even though I would really like to. We're gonna do 3, 4 different variations of triceps, then 3, 4 different variations of biceps. I just got done doing my 20 minutes of cardio, so that's already wrapped. So it should be a quick one today, boys. Quick arm day.
Off of this, we'll just keep the rep range the same.
Like I've been preaching, rep range 8 to 12. Kind of work there. 3 sets, not 3, 4 sets, 8, 12. It's kind of going to be repetitive. You'll hear that a lot throughout, obviously, the process of prep. But that's where we're at.
That's better.
Oh, I usually like to use elbow sleeves for this just because my elbows, dude, they're blown out, right? From benching heavy when I was younger, blew out my elbows. So I like to use the elbow sleeves for this, but I feel like overuse leads to me feeling like I need it, right? It it creates a dependence, and I want to kind of stray away from that. I want to use it when needed, not use it all the time and be dependent, right? So I'm taking today for the triceps, even though my elbow's already minging. Uh, no elbow sleeves today. Just raw dogging it. Wrist reps. I've I've been dependable on wrist reps for years now, so at this point they're kind of essential. 2 more sets. 2 more sets. I feel good. Oh, also, you guys fucking with when we do curls, you'll see it better. You guys fucking with the top. It's one of those cropped t-shirts with the sleeves cut off. I think it's a vibe. If not, obviously it'll look better the further I get into prep, right? But I hope I'm not wild. Am I wild? Am I wild? Is this a look? I hope I'm not wild. I mean, it really doesn't matter about 2 of these bitches, kind of gotta just let that shit ride. But I thought it was thought it was cool. It was cheap. I mean, TikTok shop fanatic. So if I see something on TikTok, I usually just throw it in the cart and I'll snag it. It's fine though. It's fine, right? Because it's usually cheap. Like stuff on TikTok, it's got like Sheen prices, right? It's like I can get a shirt for like $15. So where if I were to try to get the same shirt in store or at Target, it's gonna be like 20, 25, right? So so yeah, kind of a fanatic for that. But it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Could have worse habits. Could have worse spending habits. It's not like I'm spending on it all the time, right? It's just when I feel like I'm getting the deal. When really I'm getting robbed. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? One more set of these. And then we'll do push downs. Saturdays are usually my double dippers. So I've been trying to double dip 3 times a week, right? Which double dipping for me is just training twice a day. And Saturdays have been my double dipper for sure, right? But I'm trying to get in the habit of double dipping on Monday and Wednesday, right? That'd be a little bit more optimal for me. Double dip on those days. Then I'll be at 3. And then if I'm feeling spicy, I might throw a 4th in. Which, if I could double dip consistently 4 times a week, I would feel really good for what we're coming into prep at. You know, is that 3? Is that 3 or 4? Yeah, that's 4. You do one more for good measure. Normally I do 4 and keep track of it very well, but I'd hate to do 3. Hate to do 3. So we're gonna do 4, right? And my muscles are just gonna enjoy it because I'm getting an extra set in. So really, it's just extra benefit. That's it. That's it for that one. Uh, arm days are usually pretty quick for me. I usually can cook through them, right? Arm days usually take about 45 minutes for me, right? Which is a quick day, right? Usually in here, I wouldn't say 45 minutes. Probably take me about a half an hour. Half an hour, 45 minutes. Depending what's open, what I need. But arm days are usually a quick day. Quick day. If I'm double dipping, that's usually what I like to double dip with. I don't like to double dip with like any of my core muscle groups, right? So like if I'm doing legs, I don't like to double dip that day because I do legs and that takes so much energy. By my second lift, I might not be able to give it all, right? But if I do double dip on a core day, like back or legs, it's usually 1 or 2 muscle groups at max, right? So if I'm doing like back, my late night lift might be rear delts and box, right? Because I'm already tagging back. Instead of me throwing it in as a secondary muscle group, extending that one training session, break it up into two. Come back later, hit rear delts, and then obviously biceps. And then just kind of, that's cooked, right? And then if I do, say, legs, it might be I'll double dip and hit maybe side delts and rear delts, or side delts and front delts, right? That's usually kind of how I like to structure it if I'm double dipping. Or it'll be like my secondary, like today, I think my second back day. Did that in the morning. That was heavy. Great lift, right? Now I'm back doing a night lift, right? My night lift's off. Nothing too crazy. And when I'm double dipping like that, I usually like to give my body 4 to 5 hours at least 4 to 5 hours in between training sessions. So I can get maybe 1 or 2 meals in, right? 2 meals is gonna be optimal. I'm gonna try to shoot for 2. If I can only get 1 in, I can only get 1 in because of running around the various things, right? But I prefer to get 2 in. And then on my way here, it's usually about a 15-minute drive. Right now, I have 4 rice cakes, right? 4 rice cakes on top of my other meals, but that's just kind of a pre-gym. So I won't smash 4 rice cakes. I'll usually do 2 and 2, right? If I'm training twice in that one day, I'll do 2 before my morning, 2 before my after, like my afternoon lift. If I'm only training once that day, then I'll do 2 before my lift and then 2 post lift, usually followed with a protein shake, right? Or I'll keep like some form of protein in the car just so I'm getting that glucose plus obviously the protein, feed the muscle, kind of pump that energy back into it, really making sure it's getting that proper nutrients, right? So that's kind of how I like to structure if I'm double dipping, right? And really that can vary, right? Well, morning lifts usually are like an hour long. First lift of the day, if I'm double dipping, the first lift is usually like an hour, hour and a half. And then the second lift is usually when I'm here a little bit longer. Today was obviously different, but that's because it's on Saturday. I kind of can come whenever I want. I don't have to worry about like excess factors like work or anything like that, right? I can kind of just get in here and then get my meals in and then get back in here whenever I feel like coming. Be like, okay, feel good, feel recovered, feel like I have that energy, obviously, enough glucose back in my list, right? So I'll head up here and then obviously throw those 2 rice cakes in and then get to work. So, yeah. Almost up. Almost up here. Like I said, it's usually a quicker day. I usually cook through it. Out 3 sets. And then after this, I might do reverse push downs, right? So on reverse push downs, it's more of just a straight down, right? Straight down. Feeling really good. Getting that good squeeze in that tricep head. That one, I'll usually drop the weight a little bit. Won't go as heavy as I would on like a regular push down, right? Because on that one, I'm not necessarily focusing on pushing the weight to get the mass. It's really all about the squeeze, right? Which most of your sets and sessions should be about the squeeze. You should incorporate that, right? But there's some muscle groups that you can kind of focus on a little bit more, right? Like, okay, really get that mind muscle connection down. And make sure I'm feeling it in my heart. Make sure I'm feeling it where I want to feel it. You know? So yeah. That's what I'll do after this. I'll do reverse grip, tricep extensions. And then I'll use the kickback strap and I'll put that around my wrist and then do crossbody single tricep push-downs. I really enjoy that. I just started incorporating that. I started incorporating the ankle wrap that you would use glute kickbacks for triceps and on shoulder. I like to incorporate it for my front raises. And then sometimes I'll throw it in for my side raises if I need an extra side delt. And I really, really, really like it for raises. Right? Get a nice squeeze, come across the body, get that muscle really nice and stretched, and move right back. That's probably the biggest and best pump I've got off my rear delts. So I was like, oh yeah, like this is now a rear delt staple. So yeah, I've been throwing that in lately. Definitely recommend checking it out. I saw it on TikTok. I was like, I throw that in. I throw it in. Threw it in. Game changing. Game changing. That's the third set there, right? And then we'll do reverse extensions and then tricep push-ins. Those work. Now we got reverse, so let me drop the weight a little bit. Not too much, but just enough. Just enough to where I'm going heavy, but I can really focus on that. Squeeze at the bottom. Ooh, that's good. Oh, my shit is cooked. My shit is fucking cooked, son. It's nice though. I've been training, so I think I touched on it before with you guys. I've been trying to train arms 2 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week, right? Just because I feel like arms is a spot that I could bring up. On top of that, I'm training legs and back 2 times a week. So I think those are areas that I can really improve. And then I'm trying to touch sides and rears 2 times a week too, right? So I'm really trying to pretty much touch everything twice a week. But I'm putting heavy emphasis on the legs, back, right? Those are the days that I'm really trying to grow. I wouldn't say I'm really trying to grow, but those are the areas that I'm really trying to grow. That I kind of feel like I could work on, right? So, kind of back to what I was saying earlier, when I'm double dipping, those are usually my double dip days, right? So I can obviously get those in. And then on my fourth double dip day, that's where I would hit the sides and rears, which I think we're 1 week into prep so far, right? 1 week into prep. I think we'll really be able to lock in. If I can lock in on that 4 double dipping, it's going to suck. No, it's going to be great. But I think if I can lock in and do that for the next 6-7 months, it'll allow me to really bring a nice package to the stage. And that's what I'm shooting for, man. It's the little sacrifices that lead to large gain. Little sacrifices, they stack up, right? And they stack up, they lead to long-term and much larger benefit, right? if you make a couple minuscule sacrifices, they'll end up turning into something that's much bigger. Like, for example, you give up pop, then that turns into you drinking more water. Now your body's running out there. You give up fast food, now you're cooking more. You're a lot more calorie conscious, right? Now you're eating a lot cleaner, your body's functioning better, right? You don't go out as much, now you're financially saving. It's the little sacrifices that lead to the long-term beneficial results, right? So I would just have to sacrifice in this sense. The little sacrifice would just be time, right? It'd just be a little bit more of my time instead of, doing what I want to do, like just eat my meals, work and watch anime, and then hit the gym once a day. I'll just watch less anime or play less chess because I'm a nerd and that's what I do. Is play chess and watch anime. So I just do a little bit less of that and allow myself to double dip. And that in the long term will allow me to bring a much better package to the stage. And in the grand scheme of things, I think I would be extremely grateful that I did sacrifice that time. I think I'd look back on it and be like, man, that was useful. I'm glad I did that. So small sacrifices. Gotta make them. Honestly, I'll probably be right here in this spot for most of the lift. If you have a cable, and this is one of the things where if I travel and I'm in a hotel and that hotel gym has some form of like cable or pulley machine, right? Like a stationary cable machine where you can do chest flies or just set up for like simple push downs, that type of stuff. I can build a whole back day off of that. I can build a decent shoulder day off of that. Not a whole back day. I can build a whole arm day off of that, right? Build a decent shoulder day off of that. A somewhat mediocre chest day. I really don't think I can build a leg day off of that. But you do a lot with just the cables. So that's kind of for most of my arm lifts, I'm just right here in the same spot in the same cable. Now, when I lift at my local crunch, that's not the case because they have a lot more machines there. Machines I really enjoy hitting and using. So I won't spend as much time at the cables. This gym has a lot of machines that I like as well. But I do just think overall, I get nasty pumps off the cables. I know this is gonna work, right? Then me switching up, trying some machines that I didn't try in the offseason, trying to figure out what's gonna work, what's not gonna work. I know this is gonna work. So I'm gonna stick with it, right? Rock with it. So yeah, I can usually just on my second arm day, I'm right here the whole time. I'll do curls. I'll do dumbbell curls later, right? That'll be over by the rack. But that's pretty much the only time I'll end up moving. Usually just right here this whole time. Listen. On this, it's kind of hard to get that full range of motion when you're that wide, right? It's hard to get that. So what I'll do is I'll kind of come up a little bit. So I'll get that extension. And then as I'm coming up, I'll come up a little bit, get a nice press. Not necessarily using motion to push it, but I'll come up just enough to get a nice stretch. And then as I'm coming down, it's trying to keep my shoulders in the same place, just raising slightly, ever so slightly, and then get a good push down off that. So it's kind of a hard workout to get down, but once you get it down, it's money. Took the headphones off, boys. Not even really listen to music, and they play bangers here, so I can't Can't get too upset about that. Oh, wait. Oh. So what I like to do now that I'm thinking about it, right? I'll just clip this already and then slip my arm in here and then tighten it. Makes it way easier. Night and day. But I should have adjusted the weights to this. All right. And then I'll come across the body. All right. So I'll come here. So I like to, you might wonder, what do you do with your hand? Right? Or you just make it a fist? I tuck my thumb into my hand, which is a tendency I do when I'm posing. I'll tuck the thumb into the hand, wrap my fingers around the thumb, then I'm right here. And that's mud, right? Really enjoy this. Really enjoy this variation. Getting nice squeeze out of it. Come close, buddy. Really like that motion. Feel like I get a meaty pump out of it. I'll use it similar for biceps, right? So I'll do single arm curls, or I'll come right here and I'm curling. Pretty self-explanatory, but it's nice. It's nice. Feel like I get a great isolation off of it, which is a win. Oh, I haven't told you guys how much we're weighing in at right now. Weighed in this morning at 2:30. So we're ahead of schedule because I want to be 2:30 by the end of this month. We are ahead of schedule right now. So I'm going to take it slow and steady. I think if we keep the pace we're going at, by the end of the month, I should be around 220, which is that's great, right? We're making good pace. The only part I'm necessarily worried about is when we get closer to the 200s. But once we get closer to the 200s, then I know we're at the single digits, low single digits at 200, right? And then from there, if I need to, I can just pull, as long as I'm 204 going into peak week, right? Which I would prefer to be around like 199. If I'm 199 going into peak week, I know I can pull 5 to 10 pounds of water weight. So I'll make weight, right? Because my weight cap's 194, but I might hit an inversion table, try to get, because I'm 5'9", 5'9" and a quarter, right? But depending who's measuring me, I could measure in exactly at 5'9" and exactly at 5'9". That weight cap's 194. But if I'm a 5'9" and a quarter, it's 202, which is, that's night and day difference. I would prefer to make the 202, which would be great, right? Because then I wouldn't necessarily have to focus on pulling water as much, and I could really just kind of feed myself into it, right? Slowly implement a little bit more carbs if I come in under. I come on under 202, say I'm 198, 199. I could slowly implement more carbs as I'm getting closer to it. But if that's not the case, right? Um, the last month I usually throw myself into, or I usually prefer to be into a state of ketosis, right? Which is less than 50 grams of carbohydrates, which then allows my body to transition. Which allows my body to transition its primary source of energy from glucose to lipids, which in simple terms is just transitioning my body's primary source of energy from carbs to fats, right? If I can make that transition, then my body will start using the fats right away instead of storing it. So I'm tackling the fat right at the source. And I usually do that the last month just because at that point I'm at usually less than 10%. And then throwing myself into a state of ketosis kind of allows me to tackle those last couple percentiles, right? Get close to 5% as much as possible, right? Where if I could step on stage at 5%, that'd be optimal, right? Because then I'll be extremely lean. But then it kind of runs into the problem of if I throw my body into a state of ketosis, then I become glycogen. I'm sensitive to glucose, right? I'll almost make my body excessively sensitive to glucose. So I have to be strategic about my water implementation and carbo, right? Because it's easy to get out of the state of ketosis, right? But it's hard to get back into it. And once you're out, you're out. It takes a couple days to get back into it. And then your body's so water and then glucose sensitive, depending if I'm pulling water or not, it's very easy to spill. Very easy to spill. So it's finding that money spot of filling out just enough, but not too much to where we spill. Because if we spill, that's nightmare fuel, right? That's nightmare fuel. I spilled at my first show. Horrible. Horrible. Still recomped pretty well, right? We were able to kind of get it together for the night show, but by the morning show, I wasn't as lean as I could have been, right? So that's kind of one of the things that now I'm conscious of. So yeah. We'll do one more set of these. After we do the last set of these, then we'll switch to biceps, right? Do rope curls, single arm curls, and then after that, do dumbbell curls, or or I'll probably do barbell curls, right? But with the W bar, do curls off of that, out of this. So 3 more exercises out of this for biceps, and then seated bicep curls, which I really like seated bicep curls because it allows me to isolate it, and I really can pinch my arms back, get that nice stretch in my biceps, get a good stretch in the heads, and then be able to contract them and get a meaty pump. So yeah, I like to end with that. I like to end with that. One more set. One more set here. I used to hate hitting arms. Now I kind of enjoy it, right? I enjoy a meaty arm pump, but that kind of took time. I used to hate hitting arms. I'm like my primary days that I really enjoyed hitting were like back and then like obviously chest, but I also enjoyed like a good leg day. Nothing like getting under squats. I've always enjoyed squats, but I think I just gaslighted myself into assuming I like squats and then eventually actually started liking it. So I used to hate arms. Now I enjoy them. All right. Now we got some rope curls, which I really enjoy rope curls because I can get a meaty pump off of this. This is probably one of my favorite exercises for biceps. I get the best pump off of this. And then preacher curls are another one that I really enjoy. But I usually hit preacher curls my first arm day, which is at my local crunch. Hit it there. Really enjoy that. Um, like my top 5 bicep is probably gonna be like rope curls, preachers, seated not barbell, seated dumbbell curls, single arm preacher curls, and then hammer curls. Those are probably my top 5. That might have been 6, but those are like my go-tos for biceps. I like to rotate those. Those are the ones I get the meatiest pumps off of. Feel like I'm going the most off of those. So those are like my staples. You know, we all have bread and butter lifts that are kind of like the building block for that muscle group, right? Squats for legs, rows, bent over rows, barbell rows for back, and then obviously for front delts, nice little shoulder press, good shoulder press. Love that. It can either be seated or standing depending on your preference. Bench for chest. So I also like to, I brought it up earlier, I like to close grip for triceps. Nasty pump off of that. Oh, that was heavy. I gotta drop the weight on that one. Gotta drop the weight. Only got, what I'm gonna say, like 10 off that. We'll drop it 1. We'll drop it 1. We'll just go 1. Won't go 2. All right, let's work. Also, for my, if you notice, like, I've been rapidly going. For my arm days, I usually like to have like 30-second rest periods in between sets. For my heavy compounds, if I'm doing like close grip, it might be pushed to 45 seconds to a minute. But for arm days, the money spot for me is usually 30 seconds to a minute. Then I usually lose the pump if I wait any longer. It's different for legs and back. I usually bump that to about a minute and a half. One more. Yeah, I'm cooked. But 30 seconds on an arm day is usually optimal for me. On back days and leg days, it's usually about a minute and a half. That's money. When I'm making content, it'll be a little bit longer for some sets, especially if I'm squatting. Because I like to yap in between squatting sets because I'm a procrastinator. So it might be a little bit longer, but I mean, I'm not losing the pump. So it's fine. My body's going to deal with it and I'm going to make it work. A little bit of Gatorade because I forgot the water today. Delicious. All right. There's it. One more. Sometimes I'll hold it there, right? Try to really force that rep up. But sometimes it just gets stuck halfway. But keeping that constant tension on the biceps, I think that's beneficial, right? I think we get some good bennies off that. One more set here. Then I'll do the W bar. Then after the W bar, I'll do single cable curls. And then after that, I'll do some dumbbell curls, right? 32 sets in total today. 16 sets triceps, 16 set biceps. So I feel like that's pretty good arm day, you know? 4 sets per exercise, 16 sets a pop between muscle groups, 32 in total. That's optimal. Especially for this being a double dip day. I don't want to hit too many sets because I already hit 24 sets this morning, right? So that's putting me in total on today close to 60 sets, which is nuts. But I mean, I know my body can handle it. I've been double dipping since my first show, right? I know my body can handle training twice a day. I can't do it every day. I'll burn out pretty quick, but I can do it at least 2-3 times a week, especially for a short duration or for a set amount of time, depending on if I'm in prep or not, right? I usually double dip in prep. I don't double dip as much during the off season as I should, though. I probably will. I'll start next off season because I'm leaving some gains on the table, but I do definitely double dip during prep.
That's what. Two more. Two more. That's money. I'm cooked. All right, two more exercises, 3 more exercises. Right here, I'll probably stick with the same weight that I did rope curls with. Work here, do 4 sets. By my 3rd set, I might have to drop it, but I'm going to shoot for all 4 sets, sticking at the same weight. Trying to lose as minimal amount of strength as possible while we're in prep. Obviously, we're going to lose a little bit of strength. The deeper we get, the less calories we have. But we're going to try to hold on to every pound of strength that we can keep. Two more. Yeah, I'm definitely only getting 1 more set there. 1 more set there. Then we'll be at the bottom of the rep range. And then I'll obviously have to drop the weight. Obviously have to drop the weight. Because if I'm not hitting the rep range with the rep range, as stated multiple times so far, 8 to 12, if I'm hitting 8, then I know, okay, the next set, I need to hit at least 8. And then the set after that, I can drop the weight. Hopefully I'll hit 10 to 12 if I drop the weight, which I should. I should by all means hit 10 to 12 when I drop the weight. But the more fatigued you get, the harder it can be. By the end of my exercise, I'll be at weight that I'm like, this is warm-up weight. But the muscle's so cooked from the amount of reps and sets, it can't do what it normally wants to do, which is understandable, right? Honestly, it makes me feel good when I can't work with the weight I normally can work with on a specific exercise or machine towards the end of my workout, just because that lets me know that I fatigue my muscle properly. So where if I'm using max weight every machine, if I'm maxing out the amount of gains I can get at each exercise, by my last couple exercises, I by no means should I be doing the weight that I normally do if I were to start with it. All right. So I kind of an indicator for me on how hard I've been going. Have I been training with max intensity? Or have I just been kind of going through the motions? And the 3rd bar. One more. Yep, definitely gotta drop the weight. And I'll drop it 1 more notch. And that'll be okay. That's fine. But we're weekend prep officially weekend prep. Feel very good. Very happy with how it's been going so far. cravings, not terrible. That's because my calories are still high, right? I know the cravings will inevitably come. I just got to be mentally strong. All it is mental game. I tell people all the time, I'm like, bodybuilding is less physical as it is mental, right? It's just mentally getting through it. That last month or two is the trenches. Can you fucking make it through them, or you're going to succumb to them? That's it. No, two more sets. One more. Oh, that's cooking. One more set here. One more set here, then we'll do singles. After singles, then it will be dumbbell curls. Very excited for dumbbell curls. Once I become accustomed to double dipping, I want to double dip videos, right? I want to have a morning training video and a night training video for the days that I do double dip. So I can drop double the amount of content for you guys. But I got to get accustomed to that first, right? Getting in there for the first session, training, getting accustomed to that, and then obviously setting up the rest of the day, going through what I need to get done, and then training again. Once I get into that routine, then I'll feel a lot more comfortable. Be like, okay, we know we got a double dip today. Let's make a little spicy content. A little spicy leg day, a little spicy back day, lungs. Get a little bit more, sprinkle a little bit more on there. I'm just yapping. Peak procrastination. Let's work. Oh, that's it for that. All right. Now it's some single arm curls, boys. All right, we got a little bit of cable single arm curls here. Let's get to work. Same as the tricep. Tuck the thumb into the fingers. I'm right here. Woo. All right, we can go heavy on that. Keep myself accountable. First set was easy, so we got to go up. Got to increase the weight. All right, let's work. Yeah, you gotta go heavier. With this though, I kind of get weird. I don't know where to put my hand. I'll put it behind my back, on my side. I'm thinking I'll just hold it, right? But even then, oh, that's way better. Yeah, that felt good. Holding that, but I never know what to do with my hands sometimes, right? Behind that. Let's work. Let's work. One more set. One more set, boys.
You said that you'd never be, but all the things that you see, something away.
Two more. One more. Yeah. It's feeling good. It's feeling good. Oh, that was quality, boys. Quality. All right. Now over the dumbbells. That'll be it. All right, boys. Let's work. Last working set. Last exercise. Not working set, but last exercise here. This is what I'm talking about, boys. To where normally, if I started with this, I probably could do like 45, 50 pounds. Now, I probably could do like 50, 55 pounds, right? I'm probably going to do like 35, 40 pounds. I'll probably start with 35 if that feels light, then go up. I'm going to go up, right? That was an easy first set. So I'll do 40 pounds here. Get more of a squeeze. Really just kind of focus on it a little bit more. I mean, I think that'll be good. That'll be green. Oh, can't even. Nah, looks like I have to stay with 35s. And this is what I'm talking about, boys. Like, I just tried to do the 40s, could get it for 2 or 3, right? To where I felt comfortable. 35s were somewhat light. That set went pretty easy, but I had to work with these because the 40s are cooking. But by the fourth set, the 35s could be cooking. So we'll have to see. Yeah. Yeah, 35's already cooking me on the second set. You know, already cooking me on the second set. 2 more sets up. Let's work. Oh, I gotta drop to the 30s. This is just sad. I gotta drop all the way to the 30s now. That's fine. Like I said, it just lets me know I was cooking it the first couple exercises, right? First couple exercises doing me justice. Oh, I'll do one more set there. One more set there. Then we'll kind of check out the pump, see how the pump's looking. Oh, that's it. That's it. All right, boys. Find a decent spot and see how we're looking. There we go. Okay, see how we're looking here. Oh, the shadows. The shadows are doing it to me. Uh-oh. See if we can adjust. Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. Also, how's the pump cover look? The pump cover pumping? Is this a look, or do I just look goofy? Either way, I'm gonna rock it. So, a week into prep, I feel pretty good. Feel pretty good. Feel pretty decent. I'll catch you guys in the next video.